Here's a question that a lot of people ask themselves when they're starting to screen print because they really don't know what kind of mesh to use for their screens. So here we have all of our film already cut out. We have the left chest, we have the back for the t-shirts. This is the left chest for the polos. This screen we're burning it for Jamie James Shepherd. This is the front and this is the back for these white shirts. This is going to be a back print of some shirts that I have up front. And now that we have everything laid out, we're going to figure out what mesh we're going to put this inks or these films in. So this right here, we can put the base on a 160 right here. We can put the base on a 160, and we can also go ahead and put all the colors on a 160 or 175s if you guys want to, and definitely the black one on a 175 or higher. You can even do it on a 230 or a 200 if you have it. Black ink is a very thin color. You really don't want to push too much ink through the black screen because you don't want it to bleed into the colors once you have it set up and then just create a mess. So I recommend you put this one on a higher mesh. The base, like I said, 160, and these you can either put it on 160s or 175s if you have them. And if not, you can do 160s on all of these. I think that's the route that I'm going to take for this one because I do have them in there. And that's kind of how you decide what is going to go on before you even go into the dark room. Or as time passes by, when you see it, when you see the film and you know what you're printing on, you're just going to know right away what mesh to put it on depending on the garments that you're printing. So, and also it depends on the film. Obviously, if this had halftones or much more detail, we would go with higher mesh, but it doesn't. So this is going to work out real nice. So let's go ahead and take this on the dark room and start burning. So to save screens, we're obviously going to print, or we're going to put the black with the black on the same screen, and that way we do 5 screens instead of 10. We are about to get started with the setup. We were going to burn the black screen on a 175, and we overexposed it by accident. I forgot to switch the little thingy majigger that changes the time, so we ended up putting it on a 160 because I ran out of high mesh. So we can still make it happen. It's still gonna look good. You just gotta be a little bit more careful with the pressure. Make sure that you get a clean hit, that way the ink doesn't bleed into the colors. So let me show you guys what the design is gonna look like and what the plan is to set it up. So we have the white base, which is going down first. Then we're gonna print, it's gonna be print flash print. Then we're gonna print the gold and the blue wet on wet, flash those. Then we're gonna go red, flash, and then end with the black. So the reason why we can print that gold and that blue wet on wet, it's because they are on top. They're on top of the yellow's on top of the red, and the blue is on top under the red. So the yellow's on top of the red and the blue is under the red. That way it gives us enough gap to put our squeegee in there and print without messing anything up and still having a clean print. It's all gonna make sense once I have it set up. So we're gonna go base, then we're gonna put the yellow, blue, red, and finish with the black. The black is gonna trap everything. So we're gonna set up with the black. We're gonna make sure that all the colors are lined up, including the base. And then we're gonna come back and print a sample starting with the base. So that's gonna be the sequence for this print job. So let's go ahead and set up the left chest. And it is a 4-inch left chest, but let me show you guys here what I do when I set up a left chest. I always set up on pallet number 1, and I have it labeled. So here we have our center line already marked, and this is the black screen. So the center of the design, it's right here. The center of the design is right here, and then we have the center line of the board right here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna make sure that it's nice and straight. And here we have, as you can see, the registration marks So we're gonna use the top of the registration marks and line them up with this line that I have right here. And we're gonna make sure that we are about 3.5 fingers from the center of the logo. That way it's right on the chest, because it's a little bit bigger than normal. And then we're gonna lock in our screen and tape it up. So I need you guys to pay attention to this step right here. We just showed you how to set up the left chest. We locked in the screen. Next, we're gonna tape it up. We're gonna print on a Pellon, and I'm gonna show you guys all that. We're gonna tape that first print while the ink is still wet, and then we're gonna set up the rest of the screens to that Pellon that is taped. That way nothing moves while we're setting up, and the print's gonna come out looking clean. So because I burned the back and the front on the same screens, I'm gonna show you guys how I like to tape the screen. That way I don't have any ink on the image that's gonna be for the back print. That way it's easier when you set it up, you can see everything. You don't have to clean the screen. All you have to do is tape off this side and then you're good to go. So since we're using a 6-inch squeegee, we're gonna tape off to the side of the image that we're gonna be working on. We're gonna tape off to the other side, and we're gonna go from top to bottom. I like to run one across, just right underneath the logo. And we're just gonna cover up whatever's left. Okay. I always like to end up with one on top, just in case any ink gets up here. So when I'm done, I peel off the tape and I can grab the screen without getting ink on my fingers. So we're gonna go ahead and repeat that process for all of the screens. I have 3 more to go. We already did the black. We have a couple more to go through, and then we're gonna come back and start setting up with the black screen. I already have the squeegee, so it should be pretty simple. We're about to start. We are going to use our Pellon like always. And I don't know why, but I have seen this where you guys try to set up one screen at a time, and then you come to see if everything is lined up. That's not the way it works. The way it works is you grab a t-shirt, a Pellon sheet, or anything that you have, you put down some glue just to make sure it's not going to move on you. You stick it to your board, make sure it's locked in. You don't want it moving around. This screen is already taped up, it's already locked in place. It's not going to go anywhere, it's not going to move on us. So what we're going to do is we're going to print the black, and then we're going to put tape over it. Just like that. The ink is still wet, so we're not going to flash it. Nothing is going to move on us because the board is locked in. We put tape on the Pellon, so nothing's going to move. What we're going to do now is we're going to bring every single screen. We're going to go ahead and just unlock it. Make sure it's free so we can move it around. And I'm going to show you how simple it is to set this up. So I'm going to try my best to do it with one hand. So right now the screen is loose. So we have our registration marks. We're going to bring in as close as we can to the registration marks. And then we're going to make sure that we're lined up over here where the design is supposed to go. Once we have it and we're happy, we're going to go ahead and tie down our screen. Then we're going to move it up and down, bring it back down real quick, make sure everything is still lined up. Too much off contact. See how it moved? Okay. Just gonna line it up, tighten it again. Okay. And just like that. So the next step, so let's say this was a 2-color. They just wanted a black print with red inside one of the letters right here, and that was it. That was a 2-color, right? Very simple. There's really no difference between a 5-color and a 2-color or a 3-color. It's the same process for every single screen. So the reason why we have tape here is so that once we run the squeegee, and we print over the tape. If you're not satisfied with the registration, you can grab a rag, wipe it off, and try to line it up again until you have everything lined up and dialed in. That's the only purpose of having the tape. So once you have it lined up, you can put tape over that color and then keep going until you're done, and you're gonna have the full image come together at the end, which is gonna look nice and crisp. So you can send a picture of that to your customer without having to print a shirt. While the customer's approving that, you're working on printing a t-shirt just to make some time. That way you know everything is nice and good. All the registration marks are taped off and you're ready to go once it's approved. So let me show you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and set everything up. I'm gonna print one at a time, make sure they're lined up. I'm gonna put tape over every single one of them as I go. That way the ink doesn't smear on the next screen as I print, and everything's gonna come together nicely. So give me a second to line everything up, and then I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like once everything is ready and it comes together. There it is, you guys. So there it is. There is white hiding underneath the yellow, the red, and the blue. So that's how the whole design comes together. That's how the whole design comes together, by putting tape over what you already have printed that's already registered, and you keep going all the way until you're finished. You're gonna have the design come together as you go. So you're gonna be like, wow, it's really coming together. I like the way it goes. And you know, sometimes you kind of realize when you're doing that and what kind of printing pattern you want to go with. I like to figure it out before I even set it up, so I have the screens in the order that I'm gonna print as I go. And those are things that you're gonna pick up with time. But that is a 5-color setup. We have a base, 3 colors, and the black. So that's gonna be it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Please follow the steps one after the other in the order that I do them. With time, you're gonna get faster, you're gonna get better. And if you find any little tweaks that you wanna add to the setup, obviously you can do it depending on your environment or on whatever it is that you use to set up your samples with. But you know, overall, this is the easiest way and the fastest way to set up. If it wasn't because I'm on camera, once the screens are up and I have the squeegees and I start setting up, it takes me less than 5 minutes. So I think that you guys are gonna get better as you go. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask me. Comment right here below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, put a like, share it if you think it's gonna help a fellow screen printer. And if not, then I don't know what to tell you. I ran a t-shirt sample and I flash printed every single color. And honestly, I really like the way it turned out. So, since it's not too many shirts, I think that's what I'm gonna end up doing. You know, maybe like 2 or 3 rounds. Not a big deal.